We have One by One back on the channel, friends that we've ran into before, and they are back with another turntable system, the High Fidelity Belt Drive turntable system. This is really cool because this is for the people who don't have external speakers or don't want to go out and get one. This is kind of an all-in-one speaker stereo system with the turntable on top. So we're going to unbox this, and I want to show you something cool. All I got to do is snap my fingers and we'll have it open. Got it. So this actually looks really nice. The black grill here that hides the speakers inside, which we'll talk about in a second, and then you have the vinyl wrapped type of wood here. It feels wrapped with vinyl, but it has a really nice look and looks to be as good a quality as you can possibly get for the price point, which again, we'll have this in the link below so you guys can learn more about it. But we've set up a lot of these on the channel, so I'm not going to go too in depth on setting this particular one up. I will go ahead and assemble it, and then I'll put a record on it, but I'm not going to go through all the pieces and put it together. But if you do plan on buying one, or any turntable for that matter, they always come with a quick start guide, and this is no different with this one by one here. So I'm going to use this in order to set it all up, and we'll talk about some of the features of this turntable. We are assembled, and before I plug it up, I wanted to kind of go around through some of the features. We'll start off with the front. So like we said, this has built-in speakers on the inside. And it's not just two little speakers. There's actually 4 speakers inside that front panel to give you as best of a stereo sound that it can. So you have probably 2 drivers focused on the mid bass, then you have maybe 2 tweeters to give you that high-end, high treble type of sound. So we're going to hear that hopefully before the end of this video. This is Bluetooth enabled as well, so if you just want to use this as a Bluetooth speaker, you do have the ability to do that. So if you just want this as a Bluetooth speaker at a party, you can crank it up, or if you have some vinyls, you can play on this as well. Obviously, it's what it's mainly for. Now, there are 2 speeds you can choose from, 33 RPMs or 45 RPMs, or you can switch it to the Bluetooth mode. And then you can, it's not an automatic arm, but you can release it, lift it up and place it down. It is using an Audio-Technica cartridge, which is what we usually see on most of these vinyl players, these turntables nowadays, so nothing special there. And of course, it is a weighted arm as well, so you can adjust that as needed. I love it when they give you a nice little branded mat there to keep the record from being scratched. And of course, there is a little plastic piece you can keep the record from leaving its platform at the higher speed. It's actually a really nice touch. And then of course, you have your tinted little glass here. It's not completely clear, it's actually tinted, which is a nice cool aesthetic. Kind of give it a little bit of class. I do like that. And then how you start this thing up is there actually is a start button on the top that you can just press and hold for 3 seconds to start it up. And I believe that you can do the same thing to turn it off. You can short press the button to do some configurations as well. So it's a really cool and easy system to learn. Flipping it over on the back does present you a couple different connections. You do have your DC in, it's just 12 volt to your plug. Then next to it, you actually have the switch for the phono output or the line out. So the line out is the auxiliary out. So if you're going to plug this to something that only has RCA inputs, you can use the line out to connect that to that receiver or amplifier of your choice. And then the phono out allows you to connect it to your phono input. So that's really cool. And then of course the auxiliary in. So it looks like you could actually plug into this a 3.5mm jack if you want to use the built-in speakers again as a source of audio from a phone or a tablet or something that has a 3.5 headphone jack of some sort. So a couple different connections on the back side here. And I think the whole total system uses 35 watts, so it's not a powerful system by any means, but it gets the job done. I think the speakers are 15 watts themselves, so it should be a pretty clear sound for what most people are going to be using this for. Let's go ahead and turn it back around to the front. I'm going to put in a Michael Jackson record, and we'll try to avoid copyright issues, but we'll play a few songs just to get a good idea of what it sounds like. So there was a little sound sample from the Michael Jackson vinyl there, and hopefully you guys got a decent idea of the sound quality actually sounds pretty good in those small 15-watt speakers and plays pretty loud. There is a volume knob that you can adjust right below the RPM knob. So a really easy, simple setup here. I like the fact that it's all built in. And again, huge shout out to 1x1 for sending this out for not just a first review, but this is the second time we've had them on the channel. Now, my only real complaint, not even a complaint, but maybe a nitpick, is you guys can see that this is not a very wide setup here, and they're boasting stereo speakers. I would like to see not an attempt for a stereo speaker setup, but maybe just one big mid-range, one tweeter, and then one sub type speaker, maybe to handle the lower range. Maybe get rid of one of the drivers and up the amplifier power, and then put a dedicated sub bass driver in there to give you some lower end. I think that would be pretty cool. If you're going to use this as a Bluetooth speaker, it would benefit. I mean, you may be saying, well, vinyls don't really have a lot of bass in them necessarily. They're not as good a sound quality as, you know, streaming or whatever the case may be. But I would like to see maybe one big mid-range driver, one tweeter, and then one bass driver in there somewhere, so that you have more fuller sound versus trying to get a stereo image out of two smaller drivers, because you're not going to have the separation necessary to get a stereo image, so it won't sound like stereo anyway. So let's up the power, take away one driver, and swap it out with like a subwoofer of some sort, and get some lower end in there. I think that'd be pretty cool. But that's just a nitpick of mine. It's not just for 1x1. That's for all the turntables that have built-in speakers like this. I would love to see just like a soundbar type setup inside there. So again, thank you so much to 1x1 for sending this out for review. There will be a link down below in the description box for you guys to learn more about this and all the other turntables that they have on their website. They have a plethora of options for you, so take a look at them down below in the description box. Hit that like button and subscribe if you are not already. We will see you in the next video. K-Bass Guy out. Peace.
You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down.